Updates, get your updates here. You know what would make this holiday week even better? Product review updates from Google. John Mueller says you can't even tell which SEO efforts may have changed your rankings, and YouTube is going to be adding automatic links to places mentioned in videos. You're listening to News from the Edge for the week of December 20th, 2021 here on Edge of the Web Radio.
From the Edge of the Web studios, here's what we're looking at this week.
Updates, get your updates here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm like thinking.
I want to apologize on behalf of the Edge of the Web podcast to all of the listeners and to our sponsor for doing that.
I'm just like the kid throwing the newspaper, right? Updates, get you. All right. This is Edge of the Web Radio. I'm your host, Aaron Sparks, owner of Site Strategics. Every week, we bring you amazing guests to chat with about trending marketing topics. And each week, we're covering SEO and digital marketing news, separate from our weekly weekly interview podcast, getting you more news to you much more quickly than ever before. How about that for a grammatical?
It's a mess. It's a hot mess. I'll never back down from this.
It's grammatically correct every time I say it.
That ain't true.
It is true. It is true. This is who you're listening to is the indomitable Morty Oberstein, head of communications over at SEMrush. How you doing today, sir?
I'm wet. It's raining here. I just realized as recording this, I have a leak.
Oh,
I just got splattered when you were yelling like you're selling hot dogs at, Wrigley.
That's that immersive technology that
I thought the spit you were exuding from your mouth like made it through my screen onto my face.
Wow. What a great way to start up a podcast.
Because that's how it felt to my ears.
Well, get that fixed. We don't want you electrocuting yourself while you're recording. Or maybe
you get a mute button.
No, we'll never give you a mute button. Although we may actually want to give our listeners a mute button to Morty. That would be.
I just got splattered again. What the hell's going on?
I don't know. I have no idea. But we do want to welcome you to the new Ahrefs Digital Marketing News Desk. We have a new title sponsor for Edge of the Web, Ahrefs. Thanks for joining us. It's great to be able to have them back on board, and they're jumping in with both feet. So we certainly do appreciate it. Let's have a look at our first non-spittle-ridden article from Search Engine Roundtable with Barry Schwartz. Google December 2021 product reviews update will actually roll out until right before Christmas. Google started to roll out the December 2021 product reviews update on Wednesday, December 1st, 2021, but Google also said that it will take about 3 weeks to fully roll out, which means probably around December 22nd, a couple days before Christmas Eve. So we got that rolling out, and then we also have some additional updates that are happening. That's why I was shouting updates. Got additional updates. Google also had a local search update from November 30th through December 8th, and this was an overlapping with other ranking updates like the product reviews and a Google Map and local pack update design change. So we got all these updates throwing us all over the place. Morty, what's your take on here?
This is basically Google doing their best Bruce Willis and saying, "Merry Christmas, mother."
So, we do know that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, right?
Yeah, obviously. And I'm Jewish and I know that.
Yeah, but see? Why would Google, and I can't ask you to speak for them, obviously, why would they do so many updates right
You know what they thought?
What's that?
They said, hey, you know what? If you were getting hit by the product update and you were relying on your local listing to make it through the holiday season, no, you're not.
So local SEO has actually called this. Yes, the local SEO community saw this and believe why Google has actually confirmed that. He actually wrote a story about the local fluctuations earlier, and they actually asked Google to confirm after the story had actually rolled out. Danny Sullivan did actually confirm that December 15th. He says, now I do sorry for the delay. Our confirmation and details are. And then Google Search Central Twitter actually confirmed the local search update has concluded and ran all the way through December 8th. So first part of the entire month, we were having both of these updates happening at the same time. This thing about a local merchant that's trying to get their products in that local pack, as well as even a national visibility, and predominantly this was a product review update early on this month. But at the same time, if they've got reviews and they've got local visibility, they're a hot mess, right?
Yeah. Also remember that the product review update, I was looking at a case of this. I've been tracking this like one really cool keyword.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So one is, I've been tracking multiple cool keywords, but one in particular caught my attention. This is like the volatility tools. Have been off the hook from December, like all the way straight through. And suddenly be like, oh, the product review update when it first rolled out, like a typical core update, a lot of, was volatility. And as it went along, it calmed down with the tremor here or there. It's been nuts the whole way through, which means, by the way, because product reviews generally exist, product pages, review pages exist, generally speaking, with actual product pages.
Right.
But if you Google, buy a laptop, you're going to get product reviews and you're going to get places to buy a laptop.
Right.
If Google's changing the rankings for the product reviews, you'll also very likely or very often see that the rankings for the actual product pages also change. Because Google's taking, the product review page, ranking it from number 10 to number 3, but there was a product page number 3 that might have gone down to number 5 now. And so it's all one picture. So it is impacting actual product shopping pages, the product review update, just indirectly. So you're not wrong for saying, hey, yeah, even though it's a product review update, that it's not going to impact your actual product pages. No, it will, just by the fact that they exist with other pages that will be affected.
So the local update itself is something that I'd like to know a little bit more about of what was actually affected. Now, they've redesigned the local interface a bit more and the map itself, but I mean, we're talking about ranking updates as well. We're talking about a good deal of volatility in the local space. So a comment on Barry's article from New World Disorder about 4 days ago said, I think the timing of these updates and long length speak to Google's primary purpose equals profits, right? The timing also reinforces the fact Google has no concerns for the small businesses that they have and continue to execute with these updates. It's pretty scathing, all things being equal on this.
Well, with a name like New World Disorder, I mean, you're talking about what must be a very reliable source of information here.
Yes.
If you're listening, I'm sorry, just the name doesn't exude authority.
Well, there's Snuffy that's above him. That's it. No, I'm just kidding. The point is that in the middle of a holiday season and e-commerce, a very, very focused effort to be able to sell products online, having multiple updates, not only in November, but December and the December local, man, it's a like we said, a hot mess there.
That's a lot going on. Although
really
I did see Joy Hawkins posted today her analysis of the update, saying that it seems like proximity was a major factor in where you re-ranked, or if your rankings changed, where you ended up. It's always, I guess, more relevant. So that's good. And also she saw that businesses that did not have the keyword in their name, like, locksmith, New York, locksmith, New York, locksmith, New York, New York, locksmith, did better, especially, she wrote, as when their strong competitors did do that. So it could be that the local update may have benefited you if you're doing a legitimate service to your customers. So that could be a good thing.
Gotcha.
Oh, by the way, all of this could be a good thing. Hey, product review update. You could have gained, 5,000 positions, right? Of course, it's also possible that you didn't.
You're going to lose 5,000. Yeah,
it's also been a wild ride. It's been crazy all over the place. So you might have gained 5,000 positions and lost them, then regained them, then gained it. That one's been like a roller coaster, endless roller coaster.
No, you're right. And again, we can never see anything this close to these updates. The perspective actually comes whenever you have a few weeks past the actual rollout. And if they were rolling out for 3 weeks, you're not going to know how this is truly affecting you, right?
No, and it does point to like the old adage of don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
This is exactly why you don't want to rely just on organic search to bring in traffic.
Amen. Amen. All right, well, switching to yet another Barry Sports article over at Search Engine.
So surprising. So surprising.
I need like a punch ticket, you know? Maybe I can get a free slushie or something
Right.
like that.
Every 10 articles that Barry gets that we do from Barry on the show,
Yep.
Barry gets like a free Subway
There we
sandwich.
go. We'll send him something. We'll do like an It's Not New punch ticket and just go through articles. Search Engine Roundtable. Google says you can't tell which SEO efforts led to ranking success. John Mueller from Google basically said that it is often hard or even sometimes impossible to know which SEO tasks led to ranking success even after it is all set and done. On Twitter, he states, you can't even tell afterwards which SEO tasks worked or not. But John actually did jump into our, I think my tweet actually, and he clarified a little bit. It's about the priority. If some things are easy, fixing a technically broken site and seeing it rank is an obvious win, but for the rest, is a 10% improvement a sign that you did the right thing, or could the other have resulted in plus 50%? It's also, says John, just that prioritizing SEO efforts is super hard, takes a lot of experience, and requires that you take leaps of faith sometimes. It's easy to find 100 things to do for SEO, but which one is the right one to focus on and right now? You can't even tell afterwards, which would actually beget this entire article. So that said, the tools that we use help us prioritize and be able to break down at least large swaths what we should be working on regularly. But when it gets down to it, are we saying that not all errors are equal in the eyes of Google, and there's so many other additional factors weighing on one domain as opposed to another domain? We're never going to know that one movement that would actually result in a large-scale improvement.
I mean, yeah, like there are glaring issues. Okay, you've no indexed all of your product pages.
Right.
Like glaring issue, major problem. You will not rank until you fix that. Or your pages are incredibly thin. Absolute garbage. You will not rank until you fix that. I think once you get beyond that, let's say for example, you get hit by a core update. You're right. You went from ranking number 2 now you rank number 11. So you didn't get killed. I think when we think about like getting hit by an update, oh, you got killed. Listen, getting hit from being number 2 to number 11 is for all practical purposes getting killed, right? But the difference in your content versus a content on that's now ranking number 2 might not be like this giant schism. You might look at their content and be like, okay, they have an FAQ. I'll put an FAQ. They did this. They have a table there. I can make my content better doing this. Now you're doing all of these things and you don't know which one it is.
Right.
There's no way to know. This is why Glenn Gay calls it throwing at the kitchen sink at it. You got to do everything possible because you have no idea, like, what's that one factor? What's that one thing that's going to differentiate your content? How is Google going to look at it? How many times have you tried to rank a web page for whatever keyword, and then Google ranks it for 20 different other keywords? Like, wow, right? You don't know what's going to, it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing how it sticks.
I think at the essence of this is that you also can't measure everything. You can't measure, it's not just about the audit, it's also, you can't measure everything that you see in all the different tools. You can't see all the keywords that you're ranking for. You may very well have unfettered something that you weren't even tracking. Therefore, how in the world would you know that you actually succeeded in something there?
There is a lot of qualitative analysis that goes into that.
There really is.
There really is.
So we're really talking about,
use the old noggin a little bit.
We're talking about best standards and making sure that we're adhering to what we understand from Google as adhering to webmasters' bullet points of success there. But on top of that, what we also know from all the other efforts to be able to clarify and to be able to explain best standards in SEO methodology, got to adopt it, have to have your 170-point checklist, whatever it is, and adhere to it. And by the time you're getting down to the nuances, you're not going to see, do we have a level of diminishing returns whenever we're down at the warning notice of a particular JavaScript consolidation? I mean, yeah, you have to look for those 80-20.
Low text to HTML ratio, which is not a thing.
Right?
Right. Like, oh, now Google will rank you, even though the Google said that's not how it works. But
yeah,
I think like if you're out there and you're listening to this podcast and you are not a professional SEO, but you're listening, try to get SEO information, you're out there and you hear one SEO say this, another says, no, it's this way. And everyone's fighting with each other. It's ridiculous because it could be any of those things. Or it could be the site speed, or it could be the, the content itself, or your E18 and blah, blah, blah. It's all true. It's all true. If it's reasonable, if it makes sense, you don't know what the problem could be. And that's what again, go back to what Glenn says, like throwing the kitchen sink out of it. Obviously, things like the actual content versus the speed of the site. The content is obviously the commodity which people come to your site for.
Right.
That's going to be more important. But like, if you're out there trying to learn SEO or figure out what to do on your own site and reading information, and you hear these different conflicting views, as long as they're reasonable, so take the advice and do your best with that. And then take the other piece of advice and do your best with that part.
Just don't adhere to every single paper cut that you're going through from an SEO standpoint.
No way.
You got to value engineer towards this and look.
You have to prioritize.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
And then leave it and see what happens. And then say, okay, I put an hour, 2 hours, whatever is in this page. Let's see what happens. Come back to it in a couple of weeks, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the time and it's still not performing well, try something different with it.
And that was the essence of at least my argument here is if you're not paying attention to it, if you're not watching everything about those effects, then you won't even be able to know that it was actually working or not.
Yeah.
So you got to measure with a level of accuracy and don't have a handful of trophy words and think that you're going to be able to affect that. You got to go deeper. You got to know what those pages are ranking on. Look at your Google Search Console. See how everything's working at a per page level. Make your reporting.
Keep a running record.
Yeah.
Keep a running record of the changes you made, so you can see. Oh, in Search Console, all of a sudden, like the impressions have gone up, and I have a running record of what I did around that time. Great. That seems to be something that worked.
Exactly. I appreciate that, Rand. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was. All right. Hey, do you want more Google traffic? Are you struggling to rank and not sure what to actually do about it? Is the idea of hiring an SEO agency outside your budget? Well, there is a better way. It's called Ahrefs Webmasters Tools, and it's free. The amazing resource will audit your website and prioritize the needed changes to improve your search rankings. Very similar to what we were just ranting about there. Imagine what you could do, what you could achieve as more traffic starts coming in. Beyond more leads and sales, Ahrefs Webmaster Tools helps you analyze backlinks from other sites and find important people who referenced your content. Isn't it time for you to get started with some more search traffic? Visit edgeofthewebradio.com/AWT and you get the free tool working for you today. Find the link as you scroll to our show notes. We'll have it each and every show. Again, visit edgeofthewebradio.com/AWT. And thanks so much for the sponsorship, guys. We do appreciate it. What a cool thing for them to do at the beginning of the year. All right. That said, we got a third article to tee up here from George Wynn. I wanted to finish up on this one. This was actually kind of unique and very interesting when it comes down to what the engines are actually starting to dial in on. YouTube is to automatically link to places mentioned in videos. Places mentioned will be available on the Android and iOS YouTube apps for food and drink videos where YouTube can detect places. Now, this is the most important thing, detecting it. YouTube is launching a new link format with a video description box that provides an easy and visual way for viewers to learn about locations mentioned in the video. The company announced via its Creator Insider channel named Places Mentioned, this feature will be visible on the mobile app for iOS and Android for food and drink videos where YouTube can detect these places. The company has not released a timeline for the rollout or stated whether Places Mentioned will expand to more video categories. Point here is this automatic detection and link creation for places that are mentioned. It will actually decrease some of the legwork for content creators in the food and restaurant vehicle. Now, one, automatic detection on a particular place or a thing is incredibly interesting to us just from the AI understanding your content. Now, at the same time, which links are they going to be actually putting in for that automatic detection? Will we have control over those links? Where will they be placing the links? Just in the body content itself or links in the actual video itself? Morty, do you have any answers to those questions?
No, but I hope you have control over it because you haven't mentioned your competitor. If you're like, yeah, eat at my pizzeria, but don't eat at Joe's on 123 Fake Street.
Yep.
And then Joe gets a link and you can't take it out. That would be fascinating. I can't imagine.
That would
Although
super
that would be
suck.
fascinating.
So until now, the only way to add information about a location mentioned in the video was to manually add a text link, right? So this automatic detection and link creation for places that were mentioned will
Okay,
actually
text link. Great.
Yeah. So by default, the video description box is minimized in the YouTube app. Users must expand it to view the description, and which may undermine some of the benefits of adding links in the description. YouTube said the places mentioned will give viewers an engaging way to learn more about the places in the video, but the company has not released screenshots of what the feature will look like. I'm concerned that you won't have full control over these links that are getting inserted in the video.
That would be difficult. I mean, one, it's in the description, so then you should be able to
pull
control over the description. No,
right. Gosh, you'd hope so.
I mean, I agree with you. It is cool. Like this, that's what to me, like, all right, whatever. Like, saves me a couple of seconds to add a link. It's fascinating. They can figure that out, pull that out from video content, and understand the transcript that well.
Yep.
Just goes to show you how well Google understands language, and that applies across the board.
It does, and years ago, I actually worked as an art director at a cable company, and we were working on level 7 video interlacing of advertising inside of the video stream itself, where you can map to a scene, a Coke can on a table, and be able to actually have an interactive link, right?
Cool.
During that particular scene. Now that was way in its infancy, but I'm hearing the trappings here. If this AI could actually understand. I know, and be able to insert links into the video, right? Just like another card or what have you. It's not going to stop at the description. It's going to start based on the consumer need. You could very well start seeing advertisements peppering in context advertising or links referenced in the video stream itself. Boy, that would be incredible, but also bloody well scary.
That'd be incredible and also completely annoying. Like imagine you're like cleaning some schmutz off your tablet, and all of a sudden now you end up at whatever you're watching. Oh my God! Imagine you were watching. A lot of problems.
My question is, okay, if it's automatically sensing, you as a creator need to make sure you know when those links are actually getting automatically inserted into the description, because if they're not the links that you're choosing, then you could very well have a time period where that link is sending traffic wherever it wants to take its users, as opposed to what you could. I just want to be able to see, is there going to be an offering of, hey, we heard this or we watched this in your video. Would you want to add this as a destination, / Cambodia or something like that? You got a Cambodian video, right? As opposed to forcing the insertion of the link in there.
Yeah. I mean, like it's very possible, like, your name of your restaurant is Jansen, but it sounded like you said Johnson.
Yep.
So now it goes to a completely different restaurant.
You're absolutely correct.
It's the worst example possible.
I wasn't going to touch it. There was going to be smudge on the screen.
Who has a restaurant named Jansen's?
I don't know, but at least we gave him some props here, and hopefully YouTube will pick up that video as we've talked about him and insert it into the stream there, or at least into the description page. I'm just worried, are they going to alert you, or do you have to be vigilant on all of
No, you gotta have to go check. No way they're going to alert you.
Of course not. Of course not. Well, we want to make sure that we alert you. There is no SEO chat this week.
No SEO chat this week.
See?
Holiday season. This is the season not to do SEO chat.
Why? Is everybody
no engagement? You know what people are doing?
What's that?
They're engaged in their festivities.
They are in their festivities.
I figured they're trying to fix their product reviews.
They're a bit busy right
cursing.
now.
Google gave me this year was a lump of coal.
God, that's what I'm beginning to get a sense here. So we hopefully everybody has gone through this unscathed, but keep aware of Edge of the Web, because we're always going to be letting you know what's happening right here and now on the news side of things. Morty, do you want to give us any quick insights of what you got going on right now for this week? Nope, nothing.
Nope.
You don't want to give us anything.
It's a holiday. What do I have going? Nothing's going on. It's the holiday season. This is my favorite time of the year, by the way, because it's the holidays. Everyone is relaxed and happy, and it's not my holiday, so I got no stress.
It's not your holiday. All right, go clean.
I just got rained on. I had the stress of being rained on in my own house.
Go clean some smush off your screen, man.
I'm going to go clean some smush.
That's it for Edge of the Web this week. Thanks so much for listening. And we do appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks to our title sponsor, Ahrefs, for joining us this week. Make sure that you check out our YouTube channel to get updated when we go live with our next show. And from all of us over at Edge of the Web, stay safe, stay well. Do not be a piece of cyber driftwood, and Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.